What is up, guys? I titled this video, it is called 4 R's Documents for Your Team. So what is that? What does that mean and why should you have them? Okay, a 4 R's document stands for role, responsibilities, requirements of that role, and the results. Okay, so I've always used these, not always, but in the past few years, I've used these 4 R's documents, and it doesn't matter how big your team is or how small your team is. It's really important that you set the expectations with them and show them by the end of, let's say, a month, what you expect out of them in exchange for the compensation that you're giving them. This is how you get trainers to understand that there's more to their job than just showing up and training people, right? I can't tell you how frustrated I used to be before I started doing this, knowing that trainers would come in and literally just train people and then leave. And I needed help. I needed them to do so much more than that to help my business grow, but I never communicated that with them. I never gave them the expectations and the responsibilities that I had for them. And so it was my fault as a leader that they weren't doing more. When sometimes people will say, well, my staff is lazy, my trainers are lazy, and they don't want to do anything, right? No, you need to take ownership of it. Take ownership over your entire business. I look at a business as like this micro world that I am the chief of. I'm the president of. It's my community. I'm the mayor. And so everything that happens there is a direct result from my doing. Okay. And it's the same for you guys. If your trainers aren't good, well, guess who hired them? Guess who trained them? Guess who set the expectations for them, right? You did. So I use these 4 R's documents to clearly define what their role is when I hire them. And you can easily give these out to existing staff members. And you don't have to have a harsh meeting like, look, this is what I need from you. Be like, hey man, you've been doing amazing. You guys have been doing such a great job. I'm starting to get more organized as an entrepreneur. Haha, I know it's been a long time and I've been working on getting organized, but I finally got across to doing this. And it's going to make it so we all understand what each other have to do to make this business grow. I know you guys all want to make this business grow. I know you work really hard and you have goals, and this is my way of showing you how to make it grow. So number 1, your role, and that's where you type up a paragraph of what their role is. So a coach, your job as a coach is to assist with fulfilling the physical training portion of our client experience, right? You want to train people to get help them reach their goals that they have first established. Part of your job is to have conversations, sales conversations with them to renew. Part of your job is to make sure that everything is clean and you're wearing your uniform. Part of your job is to make sure that you're assisting with weigh-ins on a weekly basis. Part of your job is to promote events. Part of your job is and you go on and you go on and you go on explaining what the role of their job is at your gym. And this is where they first see that, yes, I have more to do than solely coming in and training clients. So that's step 1, is being able to communicate with them. Then you go into requirements, right? So that's the second R, requirements. What is required of that job? Okay, so for a coach, you might have somebody that needs to have high energy. Look, somebody that's not overly emotional or has the ability to at least leave their emotions at the door, because nobody wants to be training with a coach who that coach is just explaining all of the shitty things that happened that day to them, right? They don't want to hear that. They didn't come in to hear that. So you need to have that kind of personality. You need to be, intrinsically motivated to help people achieve their goals that they have, right? You need to be passionate. You need to care. You need to be convicted about nutrition. These are all the requirements of what makes a good coach. And if you don't meet these requirements, you need to be on time or early. If you don't meet these requirements, well, then you're not a good fit for that role. Okay, so that is the second R. The third R would be the responsibilities. So what does it look like? And I like to break my responsibilities up between daily, weekly, and monthly. So of a coach, what is the responsibilities on a daily basis? Well, being early for all of your workouts and preparing your workouts in advance, so you're not giving the same cookie cutter workout to everybody, or you're not setting up the workout as your clients arriving at the same time, right? So that's number one. Number two is you want to make sure that you are not playing, let's say, profanity on the radio. You're in a uniform. That's another requirement or a responsibility. Number three is if you have a sales meeting, you need to be prepared for that. Understand what program you're going to be selling them on, what they need to renew. That's a responsibility. Cleaning up after yourself. You're not just going to leave the gym completely messy after. So this third R is where you can label all the responsibilities of that role, so then it's a very easy conversation when they're not fulfilling those. You can say, hey man, are you confused about a certain part? Because I'd love to sit down and chat a little bit more about it, but we just had a talk about this, and part of your responsibilities is to do X, Y, and Z, and I noticed that you weren't doing that. I'm more than happy to talk more about it if you're confused or you're not really sure about that one. So that sets the expectations, and then finally the results. So at my gym with our coaches, the results may be, hey, you need to renew at least 50% of your customers that are coming up for renewal, right? I'm not saying that every single person you're working with is going to renew into a long-term high-ticket program, although most of them do, but 50% is the goal. Second, you need to make sure that you are helping, at least 50% of your clients are reaching the goals that they set out to reach, right? You need to be doing weigh-ins with every single client and getting a referral or a testimonial once a week. These are all the results that I expect from you, okay? I expect these out of your job. Now, if you can't meet those requirements or you can't hit those results on a month-to-month basis, you may not be a good fit for this role. And unfortunately, if you are a gym owner, you're an entrepreneur, you cannot just keep every single employee that you have at your gym in that role if they are not a good fit for that role. If they are not hitting the results, and it's the same thing like a salesperson, right? If the result is converting 50%, closing 50% of the people they meet with, if they're closing at 30% month after month after month, what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of them, right? You're going to find somebody else that can close higher. Well, it's the same exact thing for a coach, right? If you have these defined results that you're expecting out of them and month after month after month, they're not hitting them, you need to get rid of them. And usually it's one of three reasons. And I'll talk briefly on this, but one of the three reasons is either communication, right? Motivation or skill set. If you ever have to fire an employee, it's one of those three reasons. Number one, you did not communicate well enough with them what you need them, what you expect from them. So you hired them, they're super excited. Let's say it's a sales manager, they're super excited, and they just go sit in their office and hope to not fuck up because they don't even know what you want them to do, right? You need to have very clear expectations of the 4 R's, right? Their role, their responsibilities, their requirements, and the results you expect from them so they can go after it and get it, So that's number one. If you get rid of somebody, it might be your fault. It might be your fault as the entrepreneur because you just did not communicate what you need from this person. The second one is skill set. They may completely understand what you need them to do, right? And they may completely be motivated to do it, but they simply lack the skill set. They're just not the right, you hired the wrong person. So you hired somebody to be a coach and they literally do not care about other people getting their results, or they literally do not know how to train somebody effectively to help them reach those goals. They may have somebody sitting there doing bicep curls when they have 200 pounds to lose and they're just simply not training them correctly. So that could be a problem that you'll never overcome. They do not have the skill set unless you're willing to invest a lot of time and energy in helping them get that skill set. The third reason would be motivation. They do understand what you want them to do. They do have the skill set. They simply are not motivated to do it. Maybe you have not motivated them. Maybe you hired the wrong person. Maybe the leadership you have is not going to inspire them to give their best effort. It could be one of those reasons. But the 4 R's document sets the tone, and we have them for every single employee. So we have them for coaches, ops managers, sales managers, front desk people, lead coaches, whatever positions you have at your gym, you should have a 4 R's document to go along with that and introduce that in a team meeting if you haven't introduced them yet and say, look, guys, let's have an open talk about this. Does anybody have any questions about what's on their 4 R's document? Okay, moving forward, this is what we're going to live by. Everybody, your goal is to hit your results, and if we do this together as a team, we will absolutely dominate. Now I take it one step farther and I have a scoreboard in my trainer's break room that shows their results and their progress towards those results every single month. And if they hit their goals, if they hit 100%, I give them a bonus, right? So long story short, 4 R's documents, that's how you use them. You can tie them to a bonus structure like I have. And I hope that you guys can use this as a benefit. Now, if anybody wants me to give them an example of a 4Rs document, just hashtag below or just type below 4Rs document, or just say 4Rs, right? And I will give you an example of my 4Rs document that I use, and you can easily just change them to be a 4Rs document that you can put your logo on and issue out to your gym. So comment below 4Rs, and I will drop you an example of a 4Rs document, and hopefully it can benefit your guys' gym. So thought it'd be a fun little nugget to give you on a Friday, and you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you again Monday.